did have a good delivery, a problem is over. This man's problem started now. He started writing to me, sir, you asked me to think only in terms of the ultimate. I did it like this, what am I to do? I said, you have already done it, then what is the point? Every person does it, and you also have done it. Grow out of it. One thing is to know where I am, one thing is to know what I should aspire for. So what I am asked to aspire for is the second commandment. What I am, I think every one of us know what we are. Then why I talk about it? This is way too obvious. The second thing is too obvious for all of us. When you have got a headache, you will say, at least let me not have a headache during meditation. At least this prayer you will have. You will not yield so much to the divine to say that he will know better. No. You will at least pray this, or put some Amrutanjan here, or a Jandu Balm there, or some other brand choice, you apply to it. These things do happen. If you are a bit more religious, you may go to some Vibhuti, or you may take some Sri Padarayana, or you may take some Tulsi Tirtham. Do something. You will do something or the other to get rid of it. There is nothing very, very great about it, very abnormal about it. Every one of us would do it because it's a natural instinct. We have to come out of that natural instinct somehow. And let us have an aspiration for that. When we ask God, let us not ask for this thing. These things we know how to get rid of it, at least thanks to so many doctors now. They will sort out most of the problems. So we should aspire for, begin your puja with a prayer for spiritual upliftment. And rest not till that is achieved. That means rest not means every day if you are saying I will not rest not till that time, it will not work. It's a lifetime approach. So we must go on doing this puja only in that way, seeking for one. That is why the prayer says to you, Thou art the only God and power to bring me up to that stage. This is one of the most challenging things for us, and at the same time one of the most unique prayers we have got. We are not asking for a status less than that of God, less than that of divinity. We would like to be one with the Master. His status shall be mine. Because we are He. We are no different from Him. So don't ask for a position less than that. Ask for a position equal to that of that. In the end, of course, you will realize that you don't exist and He alone exists. That is a separate issue. Ultimately, you don't become that. It's only He becomes you. You don't become that. He becomes you. But that is a separate subject. But the fact is, we are asked to pray for that. That is the challenge. That is the possibility that we are talking about. We are not talking in terms of being just disciples or devotees or slaves. That is granted in the beginning itself. We are at best slaves of our wishes. That we know. That's a very, very polite way of saying that I am a slave of my animal instincts. Slaves of my wishes. Suppose you just change those words, wishes, and then put animal instincts. It applies better. It makes more sense to understand. But then my Master is always polite. So he has given it that way. And this is one of the prayers he got from the divine, therefore he gave it as it is. That's what the third commandment says. Keep it as oneness with the divine, complete oneness. That means you have to, so long as we are selfish, self-motivated, we are thinking about ourselves, our goals, our petty ends, you will not be in a position to become Him, because He does not distinguish between one and the other. All our conflicts arise mainly because of individualities and personal goals, conflicting goals actually. Very, very conflicting goals we have got, therefore somebody becomes inimical to you. You think it is, nobody is inimical. We think he becomes, because his goals are in just the opposite direction to ours. We ask something, he asks something else. So in the whole process, it becomes very difficult to move on unless we start yielding to that. And if you yield towards the divine, the chances are that you become one with Him. As I hinted already, you don't become one with Him, He becomes one with you, because you are His expression. We are not His expressions. This is another Vedantic problem. In Vedanta, the problem always starts with Atma and Brahma are the same. It is the Brahman which is the Atman and not the Atman which is the Brahman. And then Aham Brahmasmi has been very, very badly quoted out of context. If you read the original Vedic thing, it does not mean anything. It means only when I have realized that I become this. The last, actually concluding part of the mantra. But interpretations will always be there. Mind is capable of playing and it plays. If there is one thing that is still left with us of a monkey, and that is the mind. You are able to get rid of the tail, all right, but then the mind is playing jokes, and it is playing monkey every day. It plays all sorts of monkeyishness, and we have to control that. We can't suppress it because it's something God has given. So we have to control, bring it to a state of balance. When this type of oneness with the divine is possible, or when is it possible for the divine to become one with you? When is it possible? Only when we try to shed off our unnecessary load. Too many attachments, too many prejudices, too many opinions about several things. Most of our discussions are meaningless discussions. I don't know whether you had funny discussions, but I did have, so I can share what I had. So you go to a cricket match and then see some fellow playing. He has somebody bowled and somebody played. Okay, match is over. Between them it is sorted out. We start arguing. Had he played like this, would have been different. Foolish fellow, he did not know. No, he played very, very well. The next fellow says, the third fellow says something else, and then you got into a terrifically heated argument about the whole thing, and the evening is over. We have forgotten to see the match also. In the whole process of one stroke, the match is lost. I don't know who wins there. We have lost the game. This is what our arguments are. Most of your arguments, if you can see, this is how it ends.
That is a nature, argumentative.
No, argumentative is not nature.
It is created in now because we ourselves created to our system.
The system of education that we have got is one of competition. Instead of coexistence, instead of cooperation, we have unfortunately opted for the Western concept of competition. Krishna and Sudama both were the disciples. They never lost their self in competition. Krishna passed out very early, Sudama came out much later. But nobody said that this fellow is inferior or that fellow is superior. They always said he is a person who has studied under the same teacher and therefore venerable. The only person who unfortunately upset the cart was your Drupada, who misbehaved, and therefore the whole of the Bharat was there. Part of the Bharat is part of that story of one person saying that he is superior. Had he also maintained the same principle as Sudama and Krishna, the problem would not have been there. Competition is the beginning of all trouble. All of us are made by God and according to His design. According to His design. The rose is as beautiful, if not more, than a lotus. Let us not go on comparing them and then contrast and fight. So with this one-upmanship is the concept that has been given more into our head, to not, as I have already mentioned in Bharat itself it is there, but more into our head thanks to the West. Because they wanted to bring some difference between us. And they started saying this fellow is superior, that fellow is inferior. Those of you who know a bit of social psychology know there is a community called Mundagmar in South New Zealand. One more is called Arabish. The Arabish fellows live in plains. The Mundagmar fellow lives in mountains. There are these fellows in the classroom who has, say they have given an exercise of mathematics. Now, whoever has completed it, lift your hand. Somebody did it very fast and then lifted his hand. In one Dagmar community, they refused. The fellow has completed the exercise, but he did not lift his hand. He was asked why. Then he said, let everybody pass. Then I will lift. He was asked why. Because we have to live together in a forest. You can fight in the plains. You cannot fight in the forest. If you fight in the forest amongst yourself, you will definitely be killed by some animal. In the plains we can afford to fight. So the beginnings of this type of competition comes only when you are a bit affluent, and then when certain other values take over. We don't have to. We don't have to go on arguing. Somebody has played, you see the game and then go. No. Nobody would like to. People would like to get in troubles. This is a general feature. I agree. A general feature today. We have to unlearn quite a lot. We have to unlearn. The process of spirituality is mostly unlearning, not learning. We don't learn anything in spirituality for that matter. We only unlearn whatever we have learned. Whatever samskara we have got, we would like to get rid of it. Get rid of it, you are liberated. You are back to your original place. You learn something, then you are lost in samskara. One more samskara you have got. You start arguing your philosophy is superior to that of mine. Advaita is superior to Vishita Advaita, Vishita Advaita is superior to Dvaita, Dvaita is superior to Advaita. We go on arguing. There is no end to this. Because a person would like to be one man exception. I am just up. I am better than you. I am better than you. Why should you be better than you? Why not all of us be equal? No. Acquired nature. You see children, they don't differentiate in the beginning. All children are innocent, they join together, they play well. They argue, they fight among themselves, they immediately compromise. Everything is done. As they grow, you will see the thing, they take an uncompromising stance. In the early life, they are all compromising on all levels, and as we take on a silliest thing also, they will be uncompromising. They will not compromise on this. So this is an acquired trait. It is not a natural trait. Natural trait is to coexist. Be in peace. Be in peace is a natural trait. Be in conflict is what we have learned through civilization. Eternal conflict, for no reason whatsoever. You may think that I am unpatriotic, but then I will quote one small incident as to why we are fighting on borders. Really, one does not know why. Because those glaciers you will never go. Not that fellow is going to sit there. But still we go on arguing. And the same thing is what Bertrand Russell said. I said, you people, you from India, you have been all the time telling tolerance. Why don't you just keep quiet on all this issue? If that fellow were to take some Manmohan line or Makmohan line, I don't know whatever line it is, somewhere in some giant body. You are a captain, so you may be in a better position to tell. There. And it seems they are fighting over a place where nobody will go at any point of time in his life, except these unfortunate soldiers who have been posted there to fight. Very, very unfortunate souls. Why they are fighting there, nobody knows. And he said, why are you fighting on all these things, small things, it does not matter much, why do you fight? And then for having studied some big agitation was there and he was thrown inside the jail. Poor fellow, Bertrand Russell had to go through a miserable life for having said something like this. I don't defend him, nor am I in total agreement with that logic, nor am I opposed to the defense policy of the country. But what I am trying to tell you, this is what we have acquired. Finally, if you look at it, the whole thing happens to be some sort of a small fight on very small issues. Most of the difference of opinion we have got are only silly difference of opinion. Plainness is something that is nature, it's plain. When you are angry, be angry. When you are loving, you love. When cyclone comes, it does not distinguish between places, it simply comes. Floods come. They don't distinguish. He is a good fellow, he is a bad fellow, I will drown only this fellow, I will not drown him, that fellow. No such thing is possible. It is plain. And we, through artificial means, have started controlling our feelings to such an extent, many times we don't express our true feelings. Finally, the personality, persona being understood as some sort of a mask, has totally covered your soul. The only people know personalities. Nobody knows the soul. But our souls are one. We are one with each other. There is no difference between you and me. It is a personality that is giving a conflict. And persona, is a word that is coming from the word mask. It's a mask. I have a mask, you have a mask, and this is what is fighting. Basically, internally, I want you to be good, and you want me to be good. I want to be kind to you, you want to be kind to me. This is basically, everybody has got this feeling. People are now afraid of touching a person. This has happened in the West much earlier. It is happening in India now, in some places at least. Somebody gets into an accident and if you touch him, you are in troubles. If you touch that fellow, you are in trouble, because they say, had you handled me better, I would not have had this problem. He goes to the court and then you are lost. For having attempted to do something good, you are getting into troubles. The personalities are in troubles now. But basically the instinct is the same. They want to do some help, do some good to others. If 30 years or 40 years back, or even about 50 years back, say put it, if you try to help somebody, he used to accept it. Today they will ask you the question, why is it you are doing this? As a matter of fact, I found this question in the institute also. Many of the participants put this question, why is it you people are doing this free? Why is it? I want to be good, that's all. I have no axe to grind. What else have I got? I want to say something which I know. If you are kind enough to come and hear me, I will tell you. You don't want to hear me and go, all right, you go. But then why is it you are doing is a question I could not understand also. But he will show you the papers. There are earlier batches, some people put this question, why is it you are doing this? What is it you want to do? We only said we want to be brothers. At least we want to tell you that we are brothers. Whether I behave as such or not will depend upon my behavior. But at least I want to tell you that's my intention. I have no intention to tell anything wrong to you. I have benefited from a great master, which I want to pass on to you. Please see what it is. If you can follow it, follow it. If not, very good, having spent some time with us, let us be happy. This is what I have been telling. But then that itself is a big problem for us to defend. It has become a very big problem. But then it becomes, why do you waste so much time? I don't waste, I spend. I usefully spend. When I communicate to you, I consider this is the best time that I spend. A few good words to others is what we can do. Because all other places it's selfish motive that is guiding us. I am not doing any marketing here. Because by marketing I am not going to get anything. By marketing a system like this, what is it I am going to get? Because a stage has come where people started questioning genuineness of selfless service itself. Because it has become so alien to us now in this present atmosphere, it is very difficult to convince people. This has started, I think, in several walks of life it has started actually. When somebody is prepared to marry without a dowry, he is asking a question whether this fellow there must be something terribly deficient about him, otherwise why should this fellow marry like this? He seems to be well qualified and all that. Genuine goodness is being questioned now. That's the dirtiest level to which we have fallen now. Thanks to your competition, thanks to whatever word we have got. Indeed, a stage has come when we should come out of this at least. Let us behave as divine, as personalities capable of being divine. We need not yield to this much of animal instinct. Animals we are, there no doubt about it. Who is not an animal? There are many qualities that are in us which cannot be so easily got rid of. They are animals. That is a message actually given to us by some of the stories on the Indra. They were just trying to tell you that even if he is a god, he can become an animal. The possibilities of a person of a high rank falling low is what was hinted at. We don't have to accuse anybody for that, but the possibilities are there because it is always there. Every person suffers. That is our basic base actually, from which we are growing. The next commandment talks to you about being truthful. There is one thing very interesting you must have noted about the whole commandments. You do not find one sentence which says you should not do. Not a single commandment is there which says you don't do this. As against other commandments of other religions where they say you should not do this, you should not do that, you should not steal somebody's property, you should not take away another man's wife, all sorts of things. This is what the commandments are there in the Bible. And so also in Quran also. As against it here, as even according to our tradition, it's a question of the Satya that matters. Ritam and Satya are the two concepts which are very, very unique to our system, this land actually. Ritam is natural order. There is a universal order. If you disturb any one of them, the whole thing collapses. There cannot be any change in the planetary positions, the way in which they move, the path in which they move. You just disturb one from the other, you are in troubles. You are in chaos. Just what can happen to you is something nobody can imagine. If sun were to rise just a fraction of a second later than what he is supposed to, then we are in real trouble. So we really don't know what will happen to us. So that is a natural order. On the natural order is dependent upon your truth, because that is the truth. Truth should always be linked with the rhythm. Rhythm, Satyam. They are interdependent. By following that order in my life, I maintain that order. By that order, I live. This is what you are supposed to remember every day at the time of eating food. There is a mantra for this which says that because of the truth, the eternal dharma that is there, the rhythm that is there, I am able to practice the truth. And because I practiced the truth, the rhythm shall continue. Any change in this is likely to lead us to disaster, and that is what is today happening with your ecological imbalance. You try to touch this, you misbehave with your nature, and it starts giving its own results. You get Akala Varsham, yes, Akala Varsham you get enormous heat, yes, you get enormous heat. All our making only, nobody else has made it. Now we come to know after enormous amount of misuse of nature, you come to talk about this today. And the joke of it is the people who polluted started telling us who are just now learning to pollute that you should not pollute. They are the fellows who are polluted. Whoever asked them to do that? So that this is the problem today between the developed and the developing countries. The problems is going on. You see, they disturbed it so badly, and they are now telling us that you should not do, because he knows now what is the problem. This we knew from the beginning. Recyclable energy systems, etc., things that we are now talking about, it's really funny for me to hear. Our fellows knew it much earlier. All these things they knew. They never wasted anything. But today we are again learning all sorts of things. We seem to be learning. Really we are just only remembering. A recall, sometimes something that is very deep in us is being recalled now. So this particular nature, be truthful, is not a question of just speaking truth in this system. Speaking truth is not, speak truth is not this. It is be truthful. Our true nature is that of being divine, and we should be truthful to it. The call is that you should be divine. You should live for others. You should sacrifice yourself. Your values should be of a higher order. Be in truth, that is, be in that condition which God has asked you to. Be truthful to your nature. We are descendants of the divine. We are expressions of the divine. We are manifestations of the divine, and that is our right to uphold it. I don't have to become devilish. I need not. The charm of the system is that we are asked to be one with the divine. You are one. There is no doubt about it. Only thing is we are trying to put it low, saying that no, this is not the practical way of living. The practical way of living is to kill the person first. Whoever is opposing you, don't be one with him, but try to exploit him. If he is very mild, try to make the best use of that fellow. This is what we have been told. A situation of trying to exploit. That is not our truthful nature. Be truthful to our real self, one with the divine. That's our condition. Then everywhere it will be only peace of mind, everywhere it will only be peace. Otherwise there will be only conflict. When you are not true to yourself, then there will be conflict. All wars are attributable only to that. Exploitation is not the way to live. Cooperation is the way to live. Exchange of commodities was what? Beginning of economy. Today it is not exchange, unfair deals. Actually it is the middleman who makes it, who never does anything that is productive. He is the fellow making maximum out of it. Our economy is such a wonderful economy. It's a British economy. They never had any raw resources, they never had any market. The funniest fellows in this world are these Britishers. They never had anything in their land. They never had a market. So the market is elsewhere, the raw goods are elsewhere, this fellow exploited. It's a very, very funny situation, and it has become model. That has become the model. So what type of models we have got, you can see for yourself. So be simple, be truthful to yourself, be truthful to your nature. It's not difficult to follow that actually, but it appears to be very difficult to follow. Because if you take it as truth speaking, then it will become troublesome. Be truthful is easy to follow. Truth speaking is really tough. You are going to get into real trouble. You will get into real trouble there. So understand the commandment well, so that you will be in a position to live comfortably in a modern world. Otherwise you will get into enormous confusion. Really do not know what to do afterwards.